It was a sunny Saturday morning when Max decided to take a walk near his home. He had always enjoyed exploring the woods behind his house, where the trees were tall and the air smelled fresh. As he walked deeper into the forest, he noticed something strange. There, hidden behind thick bushes, was a small wooden door. Max had passed by this spot many times before, but he had never seen the door. Curiosity got the best of him, and he gently pushed the door open. The moment he stepped through, he was met with a sight that took his breath away. He found himself in a magical garden unlike anything he had ever seen. The air was filled with the scent of flowers, and the ground beneath him was covered in soft grass. Brightly colored flowers bloomed everywhere, each one unique and vibrant. The trees were tall and full of rich green leaves, and the sunlight filtered through them in beams, making the entire garden glow with a golden hue. Max's eyes widened with wonder as he looked around. There were flowers in shades of purple, blue, and red, with petals so soft they seemed almost unreal. The flowers didn't just look beautiful, they seemed alive. Some swayed gently in the breeze, while others turned their heads to face Max as he walked by. He could hear the faint sound of buzzing bees and chirping birds in the distance. It was a peaceful, magical place that Max had never imagined could exist. As Max ventured further into the garden, he began to notice something unusual. The plants, especially the flowers, seemed to be moving in a way that wasn't normal. They were turning their petals toward him, almost as if they were watching him. Max stopped in his tracks. Was he imagining things? He blinked and rubbed his eyes, but when he looked again, the flowers were still moving. And then, in a soft voice, he heard something strange. "Hello, young traveler," a gentle voice said. Max's heart skipped a beat. He turned around quickly, looking for the source of the voice. He saw nothing at first, but then a small flower in front of him seemed to lean toward him and spoke again. "I'm Flora. Welcome to the secret garden." Max couldn't believe what he was hearing. A talking flower? He had never heard of anything like this before. Did you just talk?" Max asked, his voice a little shaky. "Yes," Flora said with a smile. "I can talk, and so can the other plants here. This is a special place, and we all have our own stories to tell." Max took a step closer, his curiosity growing. "This is amazing. How can you talk? What is this place?" Flora nodded. "We live here in the secret garden. It's a place where the plants and trees have special powers. We can talk, we can think, and we can feel. But we need help sometimes." Max's eyes widened even more. "Help? What do you need help with?" Flora sighed. "I'm thirsty. I haven't had water in a long time, and without it, I won't be able to grow properly. Can you help me? Max wasn't sure what to do. Watering a flower was something he had done many times before, but he wasn't sure where to find the water here. Where can I find water? He asked. Flora smiled warmly. Follow the path to the big tree. There, you will find a fountain with fresh water. Please hurry, I'm very thirsty. Max nodded, eager to help. Okay, I'll go find the water. I'll be right back, he said as he ran toward the path. Max ran along the path, his heart racing with excitement. He had never been in a garden like this before, and the idea of talking to plants was both strange and thrilling. The air was fresh and the sunlight warm on his skin, as if the garden itself was alive with energy. As he neared the big tree Flora had mentioned, he spotted the fountain just ahead, its water sparkling in the sunlight. The fountain was beautiful, with crystal clear water flowing from a stone basin, surrounded by ivy and soft moss. Max knelt down beside it and scooped up a handful of water. It felt cool and refreshing in his hands. He carefully filled a small watering can nearby, making sure to take as much water as possible without spilling any. Got it, he said aloud to himself, a sense of accomplishment filling him as he turned to head back. He knew Flora would be grateful, and that made him even more excited to help. But as he walked back toward the garden, he started to wonder if the plants could talk. What else could they do? Was this place really as magical as it seemed? Max's thoughts were interrupted by a rustling sound in the bushes nearby. He looked over, and to his surprise, another plant spoke up. This one was a bright orange flower with long petals that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. "Excuse me," the flower called out in a sweet, high-pitched voice. "Can you help me too?" Max stopped in his tracks. Sure. How can I help you?" The flower tilted its petals toward him as if to look at him more closely. "I need the sunlight. It's been too cloudy for the past few days, and I feel weak without enough light. Can you move me to a sunnier spot?" Max was amazed once again. "Wow, you really can talk." "Of course, I'll help you find some sun," he said, looking around for a spot that might be better for the flower. As Max looked around, he noticed a small patch of sunlight shining through the trees, casting a warm golden light on the ground. The perfect place. He gently picked up the flower and moved it to the sunny spot, careful not to hurt its delicate petals. The flower seemed to perk up immediately, its orange petals stretching toward the sun as if it had been waiting for this moment. "Thank you so much," the flower said. "I feel much better now. The sun makes me strong again." Max smiled, feeling proud of the good he was doing. "I'm happy to help," he replied. As he stood there, he noticed something strange. The other plants around him were beginning to stir. The flowers were turning their petals toward him, and the trees seemed to sway gently, as if they were all aware of his presence. It was as if the entire garden was alive and watching him. Max felt a sense of connection with the plants, as if they were all part of something bigger than he could understand. Max turned to head back to Flora, but just as he was about to leave, he heard another voice. This one was deeper and more serious. It came from a large tree with thick branches that towered above him. Its bark was dark and rough, and its leaves shimmered as if they were made of gold. "Max, wait," the tree said, its voice low but kind. "Before you go, I have something to ask of you." Max looked up at the tree in awe. "You can talk too?" "Yes," the tree replied. "All the plants here can talk, but we don't do it often. Only when we need help. I need your assistance, Max. I've been here for many years, and I'm growing tired. The other plants here need me, but I can't do it alone anymore. Can you help me too?" Max felt a sense of responsibility. This was the oldest and tallest tree in the garden, and it sounded like it was asking for something important. "What do you need?" Max asked, eager to help. "I need something more than water or sunlight," the tree said slowly. "I need care. I need someone to pay attention to me, someone who will keep me alive and healthy. The garden needs me to be strong. Can you promise me that?" Max was silent for a moment, taking in the weight of the tree's words. It wasn't just about giving water or moving plants, it was about something deeper, something more meaningful. Max nodded slowly. "I promise. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure you're never forgotten." The tree seemed to sigh in relief. "Thank you, Max. You don't know how much this means to me." Max smiled and turned back toward Flora, feeling a deep sense of pride. He had helped 2 plants already, and now he had a promise to keep to the tree. As he walked back to the center of the garden, he couldn't help but wonder what else he would discover in this magical place. What other mysteries did it hold? And how could he continue helping the plants? As Max reached Flora's spot, he could see that she was still waiting patiently. "I'm back with the water," he said cheerfully, walking up to the flower. Flora's petals opened wide, and she leaned toward him. "Thank you, Max," she said gratefully. "I feel so much better now. You are a true friend to the garden." Max smiled, feeling like he had just begun an amazing adventure. Little did he know, his journey to help the garden and its magical inhabitants was only just beginning. Max felt a sense of excitement bubbling inside him as he carefully carried the watering can filled with fresh water back to Flora. The sun was high in the sky, and the garden was alive with the sounds of nature, birds singing, leaves rustling, and flowers gently swaying in the breeze. Max had never felt so connected to nature before, and every step he took in the magical garden made him feel more and more like he was part of something special. As he walked, he glanced around, taking in the beauty of his surroundings. The garden was a wonderland of colors: vivid red, purple, and yellow flowers surrounded him, each with their own unique fragrance. The trees towered overhead, their branches stretching high into the sky, creating a canopy of green. Max could even hear the gentle hum of bees as they moved from flower to flower, collecting nectar. When Max reached Flora, he carefully knelt beside her and gently began watering her with the cool, refreshing water from the fountain. Flora's petals seemed to sparkle as the water touched them, and her color became even brighter. "Thank you, Max," Flora said with a smile. "I feel much better now. You've saved me." Max smiled and stood up, feeling proud of the small act of kindness he had just completed. But as he turned to leave, he remembered what the tree had told him earlier. He couldn't forget the promise he had made to the ancient tree. He had to help it, too. Max took a deep breath, feeling a sense of determination. He was ready for whatever the garden needed next. He walked over to the large tree, which stood tall and strong in the center of the garden. Its bark was dark and textured, and its branches stretched out like the arms of an ancient giant. "Hello, tree," Max said respectfully, his voice soft. "I'm here to help you, just like I promised." The tree's deep, gentle voice answered him. "Thank you, Max. I know you're busy, but I need something very important. To keep the garden alive, I need something more than just care. I need strength. But I can't do it alone." Max furrowed his brow, not quite understanding. "What do you mean? How can I help you with strength?" The tree's leaves rustled softly. "There's a hidden spring in the far corner of the garden. It holds the strongest water in the world, water that can give me the strength I need to keep the garden growing and flourishing. But it's hard to find, and the path is not easy." Max's heart raced. A hidden spring? Strong water? It sounded like an adventure. "I'll find it," Max said confidently. "I'll do whatever it takes to help." "Thank you, Max," the tree said, its voice full of gratitude. "You are truly special. The garden has been waiting for someone like you." Max turned and began walking toward the far corner of the garden. He wasn't sure where the hidden spring was, but he had an idea. He remembered seeing a narrow path that led deep into the trees, a path he hadn't explored before. With determination in his heart, Max set off toward that path, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The path was narrow, winding through dense trees and thick bushes. Max had to carefully navigate the terrain, ducking under low branches and stepping over roots that twisted through the ground like snakes. The air was cooler here, and the sunlight barely filtered through the trees. It felt like a different world, one full of mystery and wonder. As Max walked further, he began to notice that the plants around him were changing. The flowers were no longer vibrant and colorful. Instead, they were darker, their petals almost black in the shade of the trees. The trees themselves looked ancient, with bark that appeared twisted and worn. Max paused for a moment, feeling a sense of unease. The air was still, and the atmosphere felt heavy. But he shook off the feeling. He had a promise to keep, and he couldn't stop now. After what felt like hours of walking, Max finally came to a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a small, sparkling pool of water. It was unlike any water he had ever seen. The water glowed with a faint, ethereal light, and it seemed to ripple and shimmer with a magic all its own. Max knelt beside the pool and reached out to touch the water. As soon as his fingers made contact, he felt a surge of energy flow through him. The water was powerful, more powerful than anything he had ever experienced. It was the strength the tree had been talking about. Carefully, Max filled his water can with the glowing liquid, making sure not to spill a drop. The water was warm to the touch, and it seemed to hum with a soft vibration. He stood up, feeling the weight of the promise he had made to the tree. With the water in hand, Max began his journey back to the center of the garden. The path seemed less daunting now, and the plants around him had changed. The flowers were starting to regain their color, and the trees seemed to stand taller. It was as if the garden itself knew Max was bringing the strength it needed. When Max reached the tree, he was exhausted but determined. He knelt down in front of the tree, offering the glowing water. "Here," Max said, his voice filled with awe. "I found the spring. This is the strength you need." The tree's deep voice rumbled with gratitude. "You've done more than I could have ever asked, Max. With this water, the garden will thrive. You have my thanks." Max smiled, feeling proud of his accomplishment. He had kept his promise to the tree and helped the garden flourish once more. But even as he stood there, he knew there was more to this magical place than he could ever imagine. The garden had many secrets, and he was just beginning to uncover them. Max stood there, staring at the large tree in awe. The tree's deep voice filled the air, its words echoing in the quiet garden. "You've done something extraordinary, Max," the tree said, its branches swaying gently in the wind. "The garden owes you its life. But there's one more thing you need to know. You are not just a traveler here. You have a purpose." Max blinked, feeling a mixture of confusion and excitement. "What do you mean? What purpose?" The tree's voice became more serious. "The secret garden is not just a beautiful place, it is a magical sanctuary. It has always been protected by the guardians of nature, and now you are one of them." Max's heart raced. "A guardian? But I'm just me. How can I be a guardian?" The tree's branches shifted, and suddenly the ground beneath Max's feet seemed to glow with an ethereal light. He looked down and saw that the roots of the tree were spreading outward, connecting with the earth in a way that felt both ancient and powerful. "You are connected to the magic of this place now," the tree explained. "Just as I need strength to protect the garden, you have the ability to help nurture and protect it too. The power of the garden flows through you, Max. And with that power comes great responsibility. Max's mind was spinning. He had come into this garden out of curiosity, just to explore and help the plants. But now, he was being told he was part of something far bigger. He was a protector of this magical place, and he had no idea how to use this power. "Don't worry," the tree said, sensing Max's uncertainty. "You don't have to understand everything right away. You will learn, just as you've learned to help the garden. And you won't be alone. Flora and the other plants will guide you." Max looked over at Flora, who was standing nearby, her petals open wide and bright. She seemed to be watching him with a mixture of pride and warmth. "I'm here to help you, Max," Flora said, her voice soothing. "We all are. You're part of the garden now, and we'll teach you everything you need to know." Max took a deep breath. He wasn't sure what all of this meant yet, but he knew one thing for sure: he couldn't back out now. He had made a promise to the garden, to the tree, and to Flora. And he was determined to keep it. Just then, the ground trembled slightly, and Max heard a faint rustling in the distance. He turned around to see a group of plants approaching him, some familiar, some new. There were flowers of every color and shape, tall grasses, and even small trees, all walking toward him with purpose. "These are the other guardians of the garden," Flora explained. "They've come to meet you." Max felt a wave of awe as the plants gathered around him. They all seemed to have a presence, a strength, as if they were ancient beings who had witnessed the passage of time. Max felt small in their presence, but also deeply connected to them. The tallest flower, a deep red bloom with thick, sturdy petals, stepped forward. "We are the guardians of this place," the flower said, its voice strong and clear. "We protect the garden and its secrets. But now, you are one of us." Max nodded, still trying to grasp everything. "What do I need to do?" he asked. The red flower smiled. "You need to learn. You must understand the balance of nature here and how to protect it. There are forces in the world that would seek to destroy this place, to take away the magic that makes it special. Your role is to keep that magic alive and to make sure that the garden remains a sanctuary for all who seek it." Max felt the weight of the responsibility settling on his shoulders, but he wasn't afraid. This was his path now, and he would follow it. "Don't worry, Max," the red flower continued. "We'll teach you the ways of the garden. We'll show you how to use your magic to protect it. It's in your heart now. All you have to do is listen." Max felt a warm sensation in his chest, as if something inside him had clicked into place. He didn't fully understand it, but he could feel the garden's magic within him, like a pulse that matched his own heartbeat. It was a deep, comforting feeling, as if he were part of something timeless. "Thank you," Max said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I'll do my best to protect this garden. I promise." The red flower nodded. "We know you will, Max. The garden has chosen you for a reason. It trusts you. Suddenly, Max heard a soft voice behind him. He turned around and saw the large tree watching him with its deep, wise eyes. "There is one more thing you should know," the tree said. "The garden is always changing. As you grow in your role as a guardian, so will the garden. There are hidden paths, unknown creatures, and secrets yet to be uncovered. Your journey has just begun, Max." Max felt a thrill run through him at the thought of more adventures to come. The garden was vast, full of mysteries waiting to be discovered. He couldn't wait to see what would happen next. "Thank you," Max said again, his voice filled with wonder. "I'm ready for whatever comes." And so, Max's journey as a guardian of the secret garden truly began. He had much to learn, many adventures to experience, and countless mysteries to uncover. But he knew one thing for sure: he was exactly where he was meant to be. Max woke up the next morning feeling different. The garden seemed brighter, the air fresher, and the trees taller. It was as if the magic of the garden had truly settled inside him, connecting him more deeply to the land around him. He could feel the whispers of the leaves, the hum of the flowers, and the gentle pulse of the earth beneath his feet. Flora was already waiting for him, standing tall and proud in the center of the garden, her bright petals swaying in the morning breeze. The other plants had gathered around her, ready for whatever the day would bring. "Good morning, Max," Flora greeted him, her voice warm and inviting. "Today is a special day. It's time for you to start learning how to protect the garden." Max smiled, eager to begin. He had learned a lot already: how to water the plants, how to listen to the tree, and how to use the magic of the garden to help. But there was still so much more to discover. He knew his journey had only just begun.